like to call this meeting to order. Would you please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing as Rodney Burris leads us in prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Father, thank you for our wonderful break that we got to have. We ask you to be with us and refresh our minds and our hearts to do the work of the city. We love you and praise your name. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please, Lauren.
Ms. Mears? Here. Mr. Woodham?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Here.
Mr. Reagan?
Here.
Ms. Bowden? Here. Mr. Brock? Mr. Burris?
Here.
Mr. Coon?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Public participation. In-person participation. This is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. Those wishing to speak are required to sign in prior to the meeting and must address council from the seat and table provided. The public comments must comply with Ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. This evening we have Corey Conrad. Would you come forward, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff, and fellow citizens. I come to you this evening to share my experience in regard to parking tickets and specifically tickets for expired registration. I only have 5 minutes, so I will summarize briefly. I've already sent to the mayor and the city manager and the rep attorney for the city a more detailed summary. I would hope that that would be made available to council if needed. In summary, my wife uses our primary vehicle, a minivan, and works at Kelly's Accounting. She frequently parks in the city lot to the west of Kelly's Accounting. And apparently we were ticketed for an expired tag on June 10th, 2021. I say apparently because we saw no ticket on the vehicle. The city then assessed a $300 late fee on top of that fine. Again, I'm not aware of the ticket nor the increased fine. On September 11th, 2022, a Piatt County Sheriff's deputy stopped by our house. We had family over visiting, served me papers, summons to appear in court about said ticket. That was completely shocking, as I had no idea of the ticket in the first place. And now the county deputy is serving me papers. It's quite embarrassing for that to happen in front of my family and neighbors. On September 26th, my wife took summons to the Monticello Police Department and a check in the amount of $400. The clerk there accepted payment. My wife asked, and I quote, "Is the matter taken care of? There won't be another deputy to come to our house?" The reply was, "Yes, it was taken care of. They won't do that." I then did not go to court as I was under the understanding that the matter was resolved. We received another notice to appear to Piatt County Court. The city attorney's office was contacted by my wife. We were then told that the fine paid to Monticello Police Department had been applied to one ticket and that I need to appear in court due to a different ticket. So now we have yet another ticket that we are not aware of. 2 tickets I'm not aware of. My wife discussed with the city attorney's assistant and stated when she was going to make payment on that ticket and the date and was told that would be fine. As a side note, I have since learned through a FOIA that the city has a third party to handle citation communication. I did not receive any communication from this third party vendor. I attempted through the FOIA to receive a copy of this contract and what the city pays annually for this contract. The FOIA did not produce these records. The sheriff's office can come by my house and issue summons, but the city police or any officials can't do the same to inform me before it escalates to that point. I have also recently learned through the FOIA that the revenues on parking tickets through the Monticello Police Department is in 2019, $8,805.50. In 2020, a year we all remember, probably not fondly, $16,988.50. In 2021, continuation of 2020, $16,090. Seems odd to me that revenues tick up so much during a challenging time. Makes me pause to ponder as a directive to make up for lost revenue. If so, pretty horrible to target your residents to make up for lost revenue, especially in that manner. Of course, I don't know that that's the case, but I am left to ponder. Then on a Tuesday evening, a Piatt County Sheriff's deputy arrives at my house. I'm home alone with my kids. My wife is at work. I have an assessor at my house providing an assessment on my home, and I'm told that I will have to go with the deputy to the county jail for failing to appear before the judge. I call my wife to come home as my kids are home alone with me, and now I have to be arrested and taken to the county. I'm escorted to the car, and I do want to be clear that the county deputy was nothing but professional. He asked me to sit in the back of the car and then told me that he had to put handcuffs on me. Again, he was very professional in the manner in which he did that. We go to county, I'm processed, I paid bond, and the county officer was kind enough to return me to my home. Again, quite embarrassing as neighbors watched. And when I walked into my house, my youngest daughter, who is 5 years old, is crying, telling me that she is scared that they were taking me away. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm here tonight. That, to me, is completely unacceptable. Let's not forget what started this all, an expired sticker.
I'm sorry, your 5 minutes is up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Remote participation. This is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. The public comments must comply with Ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. At this time, members of the public are able to attend public meetings by web conference and to submit public comment by email, voicemail, or through web conference. Is there anyone online?
There was not.
Was not. Thank you very much.
Mr.
Moving
Mayor,
on. Yes.
I would like to yield my time to the previous speaker. If you would please allot my 5 minutes to him.
That's fine with me.
Thank you.
I just think the voice in the air.
It's Mr. Schreffler.
Thank you, Mr. Schreffler. Won't
You're
take up too much time. I'm just of the opinion 90% of life is about communication and relationships, and I feel that the city has not hit the mark. Thank you.
Consent agenda, approval of documents and action items is listed. Claims report, claims dated December 12, 2022 through January 9, 2023. Meeting minutes, city council meeting minutes, December 12, 2022. City council closed session meeting minutes, December 12, 2022. Budget report, November 2022. Permit report, December 2022. Fire report, December 2022. Police report, December 2022. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
You have budgeted, or it was purchased a TV, is that for in here?
I believe there was 2 TVs.
Okay. So will we'll have hookups so when people come and present?
I think it was, maybe was it 3 more?
Okay,
So we're gonna put one back there and one on that wall, one on this wall.
okay, cool. When do you think that'll be in?
Hopefully this month.
Okay, super.
Anyone else?
I did want to know, I just noticed at the bottom of the police report where it CCs the people's names, maybe just to update Alderman Clark and Woodham on there because it still reflects.
Got the wrong names on there. Okay. That's the police report. Okay. That will be taken care of. Anyone else? Hearing or seeing no one, can I have a roll call, please?
Excuse me. Ms. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Woodham, Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Beth, Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Moving on to new business, mayoral proclamation, February 4th, 2023 as Mud Puppy Day. Mayoral proclamation. Whereas the Sangamon River is on the Illinois Natural Areas Inventory, honored for its rich variety of aquatic resources, and whereas the mud puppy, a state threatened species, is found in the waters of the Sangamon River near Monticello, and whereas the presence of the mud puppy is a sign of a healthy river, and whereas the mud puppy is active in the winter and is unique in its aquatic lifestyle and colorful external gills, and whereas the Land Conservation Foundation and the city of Monticello share an interest in the health of the mud puppy and the Sangamon River, and whereas the Land Conservation Foundation's annual Mud Puppy Festival invites the community to celebrate this remarkable creature and the waters where it lives. Now, therefore, I, Larry Stoner, Mayor of the City of Monticello, do proclaim Saturday, February 4th of this year as Mud Puppy Day in the City of Monticello, and urge all citizens to understand, enjoy, and protect the unique natural resources in and along the Sangamon River in Piatt County. Signed, Larry Stoner, date 2/04/2023. Might remind you that there is a celebration that will be held at the Monarch Building on that date. More information, I'm sure will be available in the newspaper and online at our website. So just thought I'd ask that. Is there a motion to approve my proclamation?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion or comment? All those in favor of the proclamation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Thank you. Moving on, ordinance 2023-01, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Monticello Community Building Board members concerning the property located at 210 North State Street, Monticello, Illinois. Callie?
Thank you, Mayor. So with the new year, we start a new round of recipients for the building improvement grant. And we're pretty proud of how this program has been behaving so far and the response we've been getting. All properties of the 11 or 12 we've awarded thus far have been contributing properties in a historic district, the National Historic District that we have. The city investment to the private investment has been a 1-to-4 ratio, which is pretty healthy. We've improved 5 roofs. We've done a ton of masonry, signage, windows, things that really need to address. So we're pretty happy with how it's been performing. This particular round, we have 5 applicants that the review committee is recommending approval for a total investment of $133,463, $42,700 of which would be from the business district funds. So, that being said, that was your overview, sorry, Mary. If it's all right with you, I'll just go through one at a time, okay. So the first one is for the community building, 201 North State Street. The city actually received a grant late 21, early 22 for an exterior feasibility study. The Monticello Township Community Building Board has a desire to restore the historic elements. It also has a lot of just over time maintenance issues that have been deferred. So they'd like to address those and keep the historic integrity in sight. So with the grant the city received, they were able to perform that exterior feasibility study and got a whole list of things from a professional architect and State Historic Preservation Office on recommendations and priorities of what they need to do. The total dollar figure for everything they needed to do is $1.5 million. So understand that this is a multi-step process, but that study identified masonry, accessibility, windows, guttering and downspout, and then the historic elements like the turret that used to be in place. Building is 125 years old, and there's a lot of masonry and bricks there, so as you can imagine, that's the biggest ticket item. However, as it stands for this project, they kind of whittled down the guttering and downspouts. They'd like to replace those with the 8-inch historically accurate downspouts, and the total project cost is $43,490. The review committee recommended approval of the maximum grant of $10,000.
Any comments or questions? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-01, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Monticello Community Building Board?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or discussion? I think it's money well spent, so roll call, please.
Ms. Buse?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Reed, Ms. Oak,
Yes.
Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2023-02, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Willow Tree Missions concerning the property located at 100 East Washington, Monticello, Illinois. Callie Jo?
Thank you, Mayor. As you can imagine, we're very fortunate that Willow Tree took on a building of this size in downtown. It was a bit of a concern that it had been empty for so long. It's a 140-year-old building, just a fun fact for you. They have since hired their own code official to review the different components based on their plans, what they wanted to do and what would be appropriate. But their plans, for those that don't know, it's the resale shop on the first floor, 2 transitional housing apartments on the second floor, and then multi-purpose space for educational or support programs, family service center offices on the second floor. It's a very large building. They also will be installing fire-rated wall assemblies and fire doors to provide the required containment if there is an event that happens. They also, Jill Maxey, who's the executive director, also attended the Monticello Boot Camp program, and they received their marketing grant through that. But this project as it stands, they have proposed replacing 4 egress windows in that transitional housing apartment part of the building, and then signage for a total project cost of $25,736. And the review committee is recommending awarding a maximum grant of up to $10,000.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-02, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Willow Tree Missions?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
One last chance. Questions, concerns? Roll call, please.
Ms. Muse,
Yes.
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Reed, sorry, Ms. Oak,
Yes.
Mr. Brock, Mr. Burris, Mr. King.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. Excuse me. Ordinance 2023-03, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Piatt County Title and Abstract Company concerning the property located at 111 South State Street, Monticello, Illinois. Callie?
Thank you, Mayor. This is our newest building, constructed in 1901. They had a staircase off of the back, for accessing from the alley. It was removed sometime in the last 50 years or so, but you can still see the block there, and it's creating a seepage issue with water coming into the building. So they would like to patch and replace the drive-it system on the back. It actually looks really nice with the brick facade. Their proposal for a total project cost of $5,400, and they're recommending 50% of the grant up to $2,700.
Any comments or questions? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-03, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Piatt County Title and Abstract Company?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Quick question. I know that I brought this up before, that the council could decide to award more than 50%. At what stage is the most appropriate time to do that?
Every applicant knows they have the ability to ask for more. Nobody has yet.
Okay, so if they ask for more,
They
then,
ask, I will bring it to you.
okay.
Okay.
But the city council wouldn't come and say, hey,
And that would be up to you.
Okay, anyone else? Roll call, please.
Ms. Muse,
Yes.
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Oak,
Yes.
Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Mr. King.
yes.
That passes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2023-04, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Jackson Property Development LLC concerning the property located at 200 West Washington Street, Monticello, Illinois. Callie?
Here, 200 West Washington is located on the northwest corner of Washington Street. It just turned 150 years old this year, so happy birthday. It's one of the few remaining and unusable buildings we have. I was in it today, and they've done a tremendous job on the interior, but it needs a lot of exterior work. So this project involves removing the shingled awning, which you can see from pictures, and if you've driven by, it's in pretty bad shape. Installing a fabric awning similar to what they just installed on 216 and 220. repair and or replace all second and third floor windows. Many of them can be, just have the sashes repaired, but there's some that need replaced. Paint the ornamental lintels, replace the broken limestone, remove the steel signage brackets that are there from decades ago and the AC unit that is up there, and repaint the doors. We do have three people interested that we're working with on that space, so we'd love to see it ready to go. But this particular project is a total cost of $33,670, and the review committee is recommending a full award up to $10,000.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
So what kind of work is being done on the inside, which doesn't affect this, but just,
It doesn't affect this. So they are installing a new floor. They're last in October or so, and there was a giant hole in the floor. So it was pretty exciting to see that it wouldn't fall through when I walked through it. But they actually removed the drop ceiling, and unfortunately the tiled ceiling, tin tiles could be utilized, but they drywalled the top, so now it has a nice high ceiling. There's a new HVAC unit in there. They've installed 2 ADA restrooms in there. They're slowly working their way down. Once they get the first floor space usable and rentable, then they're going to start working on the 2 upper stories, including the old ballroom upstairs, and getting those into apartment shape.
right? Are they going to keep the kitchen there?
There's no kitchen.
Oh,
There
okay.
used to be, yeah.
Used to be, right? Yeah,
It's
okay.
actually an old safe door that opens to a wall.
It's very exciting. I mean, it's one of those properties that I've been excited to see somebody come in there, and I'm happy
And
that,
that's the thing with that entire block, you know, they have a lot of really big, it needs a lot of attention, a lot of those buildings. Just because they're empty, I say this all the time, does not mean they're usable. When you have open floors, you have windows falling out, you have bricks falling out, these are not good situations, and no one should be expected to locate into them.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-04, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and Jackson Property Development LLC? Is there a second?
second?
Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please, Maura.
Ms. Muse?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Boat?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kim?
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2023-05, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and TNR Ventures LLC concerning the property located at 315 West Washington Street, Monticello, Illinois. Callie?
As an aside, if this one gets approved, there will be a total investment in our downtown in the last 2 years of $729,000 for a much needed project. So this is a pretty amazing project or program that we're proud of. 315 West Washington, also known as the Red House, is owned by TNR Ventures. Todd and Rhonda went through boot camp and are phenomenal people, totally interested in the historic element and maintaining that in our downtown. And I believe the council recently approved a multi-use permit for doing retail on the first floor and a bed and breakfast or Airbnb upstairs. But this particular project would involve constructing a back porch and new entrance from the rear, installing 18 new windows with the reduced arched frames. They're going to be rebuilt, and that was a recommendation of the review committee. They felt that the arched windows were one of the notable characteristics of that building, and they didn't want to see that gone. And then new HVAC for a total project cost of $25,167. That sounds low given the amount of work. We are refunding the labor he is not doing. He owns a contracting company, and then the materials.
Thank you.
Recommending full award.
Comments or questions? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-05, an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement between the city of Monticello and TNR Ventures LLC concerning the property located at 315 West Washington?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? Hearing or seeing none, can I have a roll call?
Ms. Muse?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham? Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Boat?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kim?
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2023-06, an ordinance declaring surplus property and authorizing the purchase of property. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we always do, anytime we have purchase equipment or vehicles, we normally trade in. So anytime we do that, you'll see this ordinance declaring surplus equipment and authorizing the purchase of property. What we have tonight, excuse me, are 3 vehicles to be purchased. All 3 were discussed during the 2023 budget discussions. All 3 are included in the fiscal year 2023 budget. One of them is a new squad vehicle for the Monticello Fire and Rescue Department. Another one is a Ford Explorer Interceptor for the Monticello Police Department, and a new vehicle for the Monticello Parks and Recreation Department. We'll trade in the our current fire squad, and we'll trade in one of the old Impalas, Terry. And the Park and Recreation Department, Carlos's truck will be transferred to the Beautification Department, and we'll trade in the current beautification truck towards the new truck for the Monticello Recreation Department. So they've all been discussed, and they're all included in this year's budget. So it is recommended the City Council discuss and approve ordinance 2023-06.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-06, an ordinance declaring surplus property and authorizing the purchase of property?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? This was all discussed during budgeting, so I don't think, it's not a surprise to anyone, I don't think so. Anything? Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Muse?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. I need a little bit of discretion on your part. I need to go back and do the mayor's report because I blew right on by it. I was reading, so this will take about 2 minutes. Council, you are reminded, and don't forget the strategic plan workshop tomorrow evening from 4 to 9 in the Livingston Center. It is very important that you attend and participate. Also, council persons, could you please sometime in the near future check your mailboxes in the municipal building? Because some of you are going to have to throw someone else out of their box so that we can get more garbage in yours. So please check them and clean them out, okay? And last but not least, today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Thank you to the men and women who help us keep our communities safe. And I really would like to especially thank our city police for the excellent job that they do. So thank you very much. That's it. Now let's go back. Alderman's reports. Let's start with Mary.
Nothing tonight, sir.
You're kidding me.
Did you see all my speech?
Yeah.
Well,
Ashley,
if,
go ahead.
I'm not sure what has been happening on Jill and Mara's end, but if social media is any indication, I anticipate that you've had quite a few phone calls. So not knowing that for a fact, I am going to presume that a thank you is in order. I also appreciate the people in our community who were willing to speak up about the amount of communication that did go out. So I think I've mentioned this before, even if flyers in the mail, social media, website posts weren't read, it doesn't mean that the information wasn't available. So I hope it slows down soon, and thank you to the city staff again for taking on that task.
I will pass it on. We've spoke to a lot of people over the last few weeks, and I will say I was off the week of after Christmas, and Nicole and Jill said that literally the second they hung up the phone, another call was coming in for both of them. So it was a rough week.
And I appreciate anyone who reaches out to me directly with questions so that then I can help answer and say, no, we're not actually making money off of the city's residences. So anyway, thank you.
I'll pass that on. They'll appreciate it.
I tried to say no comment.
I know, that's okay. That's no problem. Ashley,
Nothing this evening, sir.
nothing? Wendell?
I'm going to step out just a bit. How long after you received that notice of citation, when did you have a valid sticker put on your car?
Reading the ordinance, I don't think we have a back and forth, but I'll tell you it was within 30 days of expiration.
Okay, I'm very.
According to my wife, I can't tell you that I did it.
Well, for me, as an, I'm very sorry that got that far. Very sorry. That got completely out of hand. Okay, that ordinance, I think if we review that, that originally was designed to take care of abandoned vehicles on private property who were repeatedly not getting updated registrations. It was not meant to be for vehicles on the street. And personal opinion, that is to be done by a uniformed officer, a sworn police officer, not a parking enforcement person. If that would have happened on the county level, that is a very, very minor traffic violation. Very minor. If you would have gone to the state's attorney, if it happened on the county level, and you'd gone to the state's attorney with that, showing that you had a valid sticker, it would have been completely dismissed. The fact that you paid out hundreds of dollars is shameful as far as I'm concerned. We owe you a tremendous apology. That should not have happened. And I hope that it has not happened to very many people down the line, because that is not what that ordinance was intended to do. It was intended for abandoned vehicles on private property, not vehicles which are being driven on the street. The traffic enforcement person that we have that writes parking violations should not have done that. Should not happen. Okay, I'm sorry it did. Sorry. Speaking from there, I'm done. My trash got picked up on time. My totes got taken. My 2 totes got replaced. I'm perfectly happy. It worked great.
So the blue doesn't bother
The
you?
blue did not bother me. You know, I actually had people tell me they didn't like the color. I said, come on, guys. Whatever.
I'm glad you brought that, or not the color of the tote. That blew my mind. I'm glad all your totes got picked up that were supposed to get picked up and your new ones showed up. But there are a lot of totes sitting around town that are brown that don't belong in town.
And I asked,
Understand why this hasn't been done, because I know Terry's made contact on more than one occasion. I don't know what the reason.
Mine were magically empty today, not the trash pickup day, even my GFL tote, because it was full, Terry.
Did you complain?
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm saying, did you complain? Did you call? Because they would.
To me, it's a positive.
Did they miss you?
I don't know, but they didn't take it with them. They just emptied it. So
There's quite a few on my street and our
I know.
mine included. They're just still.
I know it. I know. That's what I'm talking about.
So
well, they seem to be making progress, because when I talked to the lady at GFL, because we have GFL at the courthouse and we remained with them because of situation at the jail with the dumpster and the whole thing. But she said, we intend to make repeated runs around and collect these as they're placed out where we can get at them and do all that. And we anticipate it'll take a while. And I said, well, I'm glad mine are gone, but I just want to assure you there are still several out here. She said, well, we understand that.
they'll get to it.
Trying to get it cleaned up. So, and I think they will. It's been a very short time. I mean, it's been just a few days. So I think they'll do good.
Yeah.
I'm done. Go ahead, Rob.
He's a guy who knows stuff. Wendell is. Wendell, apologize to you. That was amazing. I'm sorry for your daughter. As I got kids who are all girls, and they do grow out of that stuff. It'll be a memory, but it won't be forever. Sir, I am sorry that happened. That's all I got.
just to piggyback on the trash situation, is there a master list somewhere that we could provide GFL for, at some point, for those that haven't been picked up, so they've got the addresses? That's something the city could do?
I would expand a little bit on what Alderman Vogt said. GFL, Nicole Stewart up front has provided GFL with at least a list every week.
Okay.
I have spoken to GFL numerous times. GFL said they would be in this week, giving the remainder of all the totes, area advanced, Young's, waste management.
So if we provide the address to the city, you can pass that along.
Yes.
Okay. Because I have been on the phone with GFL for hours, and I have for months, and I can't get any.
See, we're passing a list on to the new provider.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
I'm looking to get rid of the old one.
And that's with the GFL. They're constantly communicated from City Hall to GFL.
All right. But the city is willing to communicate on behalf of
I have reached out to GFL and they said they will continue picking up those totes this week.
all right. So if they've not picked up this week,
After this week, they will not be picking up totes.
all right. So we need to get that information to you by soon, next day or two.
Yeah, they just need to leave those totes, I think, curbside.
Yeah.
And
We have. Yeah. I've done it for months. They still won't pick it up. I've been on the phone with them. It's really been frustrating, but anyway, I digress. Okay.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Ian?
To echo all the same comments with regards to that situation with the traffic violation or the parking violation. We got the schedule for trash pickups, right?
Yep.
There was a bonus pickup today is what I was trying to say, like Thursdays for my area of Ward 3, but South State Street, all the trash cans were empty today. Matter of fact, they weren't set out to be emptied and they were gotten, like mine weren't set out to the street. They were packed away by my garage. But when I got home from jury duty this morning, they had magically been emptied and were sitting in front of my driveway along with the GFL tote, which still has some waste in it. So, that was a bonus pickup.
Someday this will pass. It'll be clean here in a while. Ryan?
Well, thanks to Kevin for the nice article in the paper. A lot of people reached out and congratulated me, wished me luck and all that. And so thanks for the article and thanks for all those reaching out. Continue to echo Corey. I'm sorry for your experience and hopefully it's resolved soon. Alderman Brock and I must be doing something right because our area was seamless. Trash cans picked up the day they were supposed to be picked up, disposed of, new ones were dropped off. All things great, so.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of,
Problems where we're at.
I don't know what the rest of y'all did, but we're all fine.
Really.
This is the first time my trash has not been picked up, so.
I've never had an issue. Mine was always picked up on time.
I'm notorious not setting out my trash can and forgetting. And I thought, this is the one time I'm going to forget, the day that they're going to pick up the old can. So I was like, I put alarms on my phone. I had it all planned. I was like, you cannot forget the day, Woodham, so.
Okay, can we move on to somewhat more pleasant topic? This garbage stuff for me has gone on for how many years, Terry?
Long time.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's have a police chief's report, or acting chief's report. Terry?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Real briefly, we had an incident that occurred over a Friday night, January 6th, where we had a missing person report. And it turned out to be a little bit more than that because the person didn't want to be found. And so we started to set up a command center. We got the fire department, Monticello Fire Department was there doing a great job. We worked with them getting other fire departments involved because we were going to make this into a big surge. And so we had Cisco, I'd like to thank Cisco Fire District and also Mid-Piatt Fire
They also were involved. We had the Pike County Sheriff's Office was involved at the very beginning, and they stuck with us through it. And also the Pike County Emergency Management was there. Kirby Ambulance was also there. And I also want to give a big hand out to the Pike County telecommunicators. They did a good job. We also wanted to say something about the Illinois State Police, their Operation Bureau. What they did was they brought us a plane out. We did that about, we might have been in it to about an hour and a half, but they were able to bring us a plane. They were there within 30 minutes and they started circling. And the reason this is important is because they had the infrared equipment, and with working with the fire departments, we had those guys out there working the grounds. So they wanted to make sure that they are looking for the right person and not a fireman. So then we start pairing everybody up. So it's two guys together, it's not the guy we're looking for. Well, eventually they circled around, and we thought we were going to be going even longer. So we set up a command post at the Christian church. We got to the point where this is a little too small for us, but it's a great little place. But then we went to the Calvary Baptist Church. They opened the doors to us. And just as we were getting ready to set up for the big hall, they located. And they were able to fly around and point him out and have the first responders move in on him and got a hold of him. He came very quietly. He was taken to the hospital and reevaluated. And so we had a good save on that one.
Oh, that's great. Glad to hear that. Fire chief's report, John.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Year-end report in December, and we had some good training in December, the first week. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Our Lieutenant Barnes went to several buildings in town, including this one, and got some poster board and put either a picture of smoke or fire, and then our trucks would drive around. And one of the things we practice is scene sizing. One of the most important things when you get on scene to a fire is to determine what's going on. So we had, our firemen come up, drive the truck up, look for wherever post we had. Either it was a fire, it was smoke, on what type of size of the building, and you would call in a report. So it was kind of neat training. We marked up several just with posters. We didn't write on any buildings, but it was some good training. Captain Cole Hunt did some fire investigation training with us on the second week. And the third week, we did some vehicle and equipment maintenance. It was kind of a slow month as far as activities. We did the Christmas parade. And then we had the Pike County All Hazard Mitigation Committee meeting. I think Mary was there, but we didn't have much participation, did we, that day? So
No.
It was open to the public, and I don't think anybody showed up except Mary and I and a couple other people. Yeah. But so we did do 1,433 hours of training in 2022. It averaged out to about 80 hours per firefighter. So I'm happy with that. We ran 33 calls in December for a total of 376 calls for 2022. So that's all I had. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. City Administrator's report, Terry.
Happy New Year to everybody. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
You're learning. Is there a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting? Is there a second? All those in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, no. See you on tomorrow. Thank you.